He is the king of violence, and he will look to unleash that very violence on a guy named Jake Paul, July 20th in Tampa, Florida. It is always my extreme pleasure to be joined by Platinum Mike Perry. Mike, how are you?
Yes, I'm freaking doing great, bro. Besides, I mean, I'm in a good place. I'm training hard. I got to deal with. Did you see on my Instagram last night the size of the guys that I got to train with?
You got some monsters in there.
Yeah, bro. And I was like, I'm just proud of myself, man, because I can deal with those guys. I'm super dangerous. I'm super strong, powerful. I'm fast. I'm slippery. And, I already made advancements on my gas tank, and it's just where I put my mindset. And I did, 4 rounds with one of them, and then I did 4 more rounds with the other one when they were fresh. And I did 24 minutes straight with like 500 pounds of human being. All straight by myself, 24 minutes. I got my 24 minutes in. Now I start adding in the road work, a little bit more weights. I want to get some weights in. But I'm going to go hit the mitts here in a little bit with coach. And then tonight I'll probably get some road work in late night. And it's just a journey, man. And it's always been the lifestyle of being a fighter and an athlete. And it's who I am, who I've been. And it's my turn. I get to be the guy that gets to teach Jake Paul a lesson.
I love it. Now, Mike, we've talked numerous times about this fight because you played backup for Logan, you played backup for Jake, and at one point you flat out told me, I'm not doing it because I want to fight one of these guys. I want to keep doing the backup role and them using me to promote their fights because they keep saying, oh, if this guy doesn't fight, I'll fight Mike Perry, knowing full well you were the more dangerous opponent. So when did you get the call? Like, when did your manager, when did they call you to say, hey, Jake's interested, like this fight could happen on July 20th, and what was your reaction?
I believe that I saw it coming, considering how Jake made videos kind of pumping up the Mike Tyson fight, and he would just say Mike or Mikey, and like when he was doing that stuff, and maybe it's just a coincidence that me and Mike have the same name, but I felt like I saw this coming. I've been aiming for it and have been pumping for it for a long time, and it's not like I've really been talking shit about Jake. That's what he calls it. But I haven't been talking shit. I just been trying to state my place in the fight and say that I have accolades that the rest of his competitors did not. I'm 6-0 in the last couple years. I fought a pro boxer who had a really good record and a lot of experience in the ring. And that was 7 2-minute rounds. And I've sparred Jake before for free. And he tried to pay me, but I told him I didn't want it. I didn't want that money back then. I was trying to get more work and more experience, but that was back when I was still in the UFC. I've just been working towards this, and it's a great opportunity for me and my professional boxing record. I've worked hard enough to finally get the opportunity to have been focused on boxing for the last couple of years, even though it's bare-knuckle. I'm going to punch Jake really hard with 10-ounce gloves on, and I can still take a mean shot. And I look forward to the whole process, man. I want to get in there and get down and dirty with them.
I love it. Let me ask you that kind of an odd question, Mike, because when Jake got matched up against Mike Tyson, of course it's a big fight. We all know that Mike Tyson's a legend, but it's been well documented. No one's denying Mike is 58 years old. And, listen, I don't care who you are. You're the greatest fighter in the world. You get to be 58. You're not going to be the same guy. You're not going to have the same reaction time. Mike hasn't had a professional fight in over 20 years. And I think Jake started hearing that. Like, Jake started hearing all the time, like, it's another gimmick fight. You're not fighting real fighters. The last 2 guys he knocked out were Uber drivers, whatever it was. Is there any part of you that feels like maybe he got bullied into fighting you on July 20th to try to prove himself, because everyone kind of a little bit turned on him and saying, why are you fighting a 58-year-old guy? You say you want to be this serious boxer, but you're fighting a 58-year-old legend, yes, but 58-year-old guy. Is there any party that feels like he almost got bullied into fighting you as a way to try to prove himself, because everyone was kind of giving, I mean, I'll be honest, people were kind of giving him a hard time for the Tyson fight, and rightly so. He's fighting a 50. I can't imagine you're signing up to fight a 58-year-old guy, Mike.
You know, that's a lot of interesting topics there. You know, one thing I want to remind Jake over and over again is that he wouldn't do a bare knuckle fight, whether he says he would or not, especially after this fight in 10-ounce gloves. And, you know, he wants to bring it up like, oh, boxing is this incredible sport and these hooligans are out there doing this bare knuckle stuff and blah, blah, blah. You know, Mike Tyson is an incredible athlete and legend, and I think he still got it. So to me, when I beat up Jake and they offer me the Mike Tyson fight on the Netflix card, it's like, I'm not going to deny it. And then everybody can talk shit about me, but I'll go in there and I'll have a little spar around with Mike Tyson. And then he'll hit me so damn hard that I got to fight his ass for real and see, what we're really made of. And, Jake's going to catch backlash no matter what he does, whether he fought Mike Tyson. He's getting some for fighting me, but a lot of the fans in the community knows that I bring something different to the table, that I have been experienced in this. He wasn't able to finish Nate Diaz in a 10-round boxing match. I know Nate is very durable, and I would have to say that I am just as, if not more durable than a Nate Diaz is. And, Nate's a smart guy. He fought the fight in a slow motion, a slower type of pace. I don't plan on doing that. I plan on bringing the pain to Jake. So usually with me, the fight speaks for itself. If you talk to the real ones, they know the details involved in my career and what it is that I have put into this. All the blood, sweat, and tears that I can have gone into my career in the past 10 years of being a professional fighter. I've been at this for a long time. Yes, I took a long, hard road. Maybe there were some other ways to go about it. Maybe I could have had more success if I tried to pick my fights better, or if I had a better system, or if I even pulled out a fight. Some guys, they see a defeat might be in their future and they pull out of fights. Their camp, their team, they all come together and they say, you know what, this isn't looking good. This isn't looking good. You have some injuries here. Let's pull you from this fight. I have never done that ever in my career. I have always gotten myself together. You're never going to be 100%. I always get myself as close as I can to 100%. And this is an opportunity for me to show the world what a real fighter is. That's what I said on Helwani. I want to show them a real fight. The crowds that Jake Paul gets, they deserve a fight like Mike Perry brings to the table. I go for broke. I go in there and I put it all on the line, and I don't mind taking a hit to land a better one.
I'm curious, Mike, because a lot of people who know you, myself included, have said this is by far the toughest fight that Jake Paul has had during his career. And I know he technically has a loss to Tommy Fury, and I have nothing against Tommy Fury. I don't think Tommy Fury is the most skilled guy in the world. I think he did win, but it wasn't out there. He didn't really beat up Jake. He won almost like a point fest in a way. I don't want to insult the guy, but that's kind of what it was. He wasn't going out there to try to knock Jake's head off. Now, I think Tyron Woodley, legend of the sport, but Tyron's a wrestler. I think Tyron would tell you he's a wrestler. He's never been a boxer. Nate Diaz is a lightweight. Anderson Silva, 47 years old. I have tons of respect for all those guys, but he didn't fight them at their primes, and he also didn't fight guys who were noted strikers. Anderson at 32 against Jake I think would be a totally different story than Anderson at 47 fighting Jake. So I'm curious, when you look at his history, who do you think has been who has given Jake the toughest fight? Because I think you are by far his toughest opponent.
Thank you. I would say that I'm going to do what Tommy did, because Tommy took some good shots from him. Tommy didn't have his hands up at certain times and got clipped with some right hands. Tommy took those punches well. He looks, he's got the physique. He's a built-looking guy. He has long arms, and Tommy was boxing more, as in like backing up, working the point, working the jab, trying to set Jake up to slip and rip at the same time and hit him when Jake was trying to hit him. And I think, because I'm going to put a pressure style on him. A Mike Tyson brought the style boxing is what I bring to the table. I'm putting pressure. I'm getting inside. I'm slipping side to side, and I'm ripping straights and hooks and jabs and body shots. I want to work that body. I want to break his size down. I want to make him tired of dealing with me, and just never stop putting that pressure on him. No matter what he does, I'm just gonna be there in his face and trying to hurt him, trying to make him bleed. That's my game plan. That's my goal. I want to do what Tommy did, but better. Tommy did win the fight. Yes, it was close, and I'm looking to, and that just goes to show you, that was kind of they were both kind of green in that fight. They were good matchup for each other. But I think my experience in tough battles, the type of damage that I'm totally fine with, is gonna be a deal breaker for him. And I've seen it before when he hits me with his best shot, and I just walking him down, and he breaks a little bit inside. Like, damn, what do I got to do? I'm the first guy that's ever just taken that shot and just kept coming after him, and I got some good shots for him. My boxing has gone up exponentially since we first saw each other back when I was training for MMA and I was doing jujitsu all the time. Now I'm just landing significant strikes on people. I like to think of myself as like a platinum tank, like a Gervonta Davis. I may not throw a ton, but when I do, they're significant.
Absolutely. You mentioned we've talked so much of. I understand the story. We all like to build a story around a fight, and I get that. I understand that. That's part of my job, is to build a narrative around a fight. But so much was made about you and Jake sparring several years ago, and you mentioned that was while you were still in the UFC. You hadn't even gone over to bare-knuckle boxing, where your full focus was on boxing. And Jake likes to say he got you here, got you there. Obviously, you talked about yesterday saying, "Hey, listen, later rounds I was buzzing him, and we only went 6 rounds. We should have gone 8." But in reality, Mike, that was UFC Mike Perry. BKFC Mike Perry is a different animal. This is a totally different guy. This is a guy who's been focusing purely on boxing for the past several years. And to Jake's credit, I think he's probably a better fighter now than he was back then. So there's that old creed in MMA where it's like, what happens in the gym stays in the gym. Are people making way too much out of this sparring session from 4 years ago?
No, let them do it. Let them. I mean, it's a good reason for both of us to fight each other. It was the seed I planted long ago when I told him I didn't want his little paycheck for showing up to spar. That happened after we sparred, and I was like, when they told me going into the 6th, this will be the last round, Mike. I was like, oh, okay. I thought he had an 8-round fight. Shouldn't we do 8 rounds? As the gap was closing on him, brother. The platinum pressure builds up over time, and my professionalism, my ring generalship, and I come for the fight, and I'm coming to put on a show that the fans in the world will want to see. I'm not just gonna be, like Silva. He showboated a little bit in the fight, which it worked for him in the UFC, and it got him to get openings on his opponents. And then when he did it to Jake never went away from moving away from him, never stopped. And I think I understand boxing a little differently than Mr. Anderson Silva, who was an incredible 8-point striker with Muay Thai. And when UFC was it was a different time. It was a different, than what it is now. The game has changed so much and so many times. Sometimes big shots, big setups, certain ways they've worked, and now people have altered their game to be prepared for that and defend against certain things. And I'm looking to, if Jake comes forward, I got something for that. If he gets on his bike, I got something for that. And no matter what he does or where he goes, he's gonna have to deal with me, and that will be a different fight than I believe he's gotten.
The one thing I can take away from that sparring session, which I'm sure you can as well, is just knowing the size, right? Because we know this fight's going to be at cruiserweight. It's 200 pounds. Now, Mike, I think you told me when you fought your last fight against Thiago Alves, you were around 189. You were happy as a middleweight. You're going up a little bit in weight for this one, but you've been in there with Jake. You know his size. Do you feel like that is something you can take away from that? You know how big he is. You know his reach. Little things like that. While his skill has changed, your skill has obviously changed. While a lot of people are going to be talking about the size of this fight, yes, Jake is. I think he said he was walking around like 230, so he's cutting back down to 200 pounds. You're a guy who typically has been fighting a middleweight. You're going up to 200 pounds. But having that experience in there with him, you know what he feels like, you know his size. That's got to be a help going into this one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I'm a slippery guy, and being a little bit smaller, I'm rock hard. I'm eating 3 to 4 times a day. I'm taking supplements and like protein, creatine, a glutamine, and like I'm doing all the stuff I'm supposed to be doing. I've gotten up to about 198 at 199, and I'm maintaining that. I'll lose 6 pounds in a workout, get down to 194 or so, and then I eat it all back up and get myself hydrated and put the weight back on. And I think these big guys, I have a skill to be able to hit them with shots that find gaps and openings in their game and can hurt them. And I remember something from when I sparred Jake. In the first 20 seconds of the sparring way back in the day, I came out because I had this good combination back then where I 1-2 and then I throw the 3 to the body and I caught him. Boom, left hook to the liver. 20 seconds in, he goes, good shot. It was a good body shot, right? I'm like, oh, okay. So then I kind of lightened up a little bit, right? And then boom, he hit me with some of those sniper shots from the outside. I'm like, oh, okay, that's time to pick it back up, right? And then I give him credit because he adjusted and I wasn't able to get that body shot back in on him that day. And I remember that. So I understand that he's going to be able to adjust to some things. He might start slow. He might get better as the fight goes on. He might try to carry his weight or put it on me. I expect him to have no choice but to run because I'm the smaller guy. I'll cut the short angles. I'll slip side to side and take an angle around him and give him the old reach around like he said he would give to me. I'm going to make him, we can go back and forth. It don't matter. But, I got some ideas on hitting the bigger guy with my smaller size. I'm fine tuning the details with my coach, and I still got solid 4 weeks for this. 30 days today. So I'm ready for this. I did 24 minutes last night. Everything on top of that is just with 2 guys who were 250 pounds each. Come on, bro. I'm ready for this. Platinum pressure, platinum persona, platinum lifestyle. I've been building for this, and I have everything I could ever want and need as far as, not a mansion on the bay and a yacht dock in the backyard. That's fine. I can go rent a boat and get on it and spend the whole day with my family anytime I want. But the journey itself is what I'm here for, and I'm earning my place in the fight world, and I've been doing that for a long time. But the next one's always the best one, and every single one can stamp my legacy. I'm looking to, when I beat this guy and I get to put it in everybody's face, I'll be humble about it, humble in victory. And, it's when I beat him, they're going to take it away from me. They're going to say, we knew it. Jake wasn't ready for an opponent like this. But You got to look at the stats. I'm 0-1 as a pro boxer. Yes, I have about 30 professional fights, though. I had so much success in the MMA world and now bare knuckle boxing. People aren't giving bare knuckle boxing the credit it deserves, but Jake is 9-1 in pro boxing, and he's fought about 2 or 3 real fighters. So I think the experience, everything here is lined up perfectly. And I'm going to give Jake a nose job.
I want to circle back to something you said earlier because I wanted to bring this up anyways, Mike. When you guys had that conversation yesterday, he said about Bare-Knuckle. And listen, I don't mind what Jake's doing. I really don't. Like, I don't, dude, make your money, do your thing. I don't care that you're fighting Nate Diaz and Tyron Woodley and Anderson Silva. No, I don't really care. It doesn't bother. It's entertainment and whatever. I don't care. You know, I don't think he's going to beat Canelo Alvarez, but I don't care that he's doing it. But then he obviously signed up to do MMA. He hasn't fought MMA yet. And now he said he would do Bare-Knuckle. Now, again, I like Jake. Let me be clear about that. I have nothing against Jake. Nice guy. Every time I've ever talked to him, and nothing but nice to me. But when he said that, my eyes rolled because I'm like, there is no world where Jake Paul would fight Mike Perry in Bare-Knuckle. And I'm not saying that as a knock. I'm just saying, like, he knows. Like, he knows better. There's no chance of that.
You know, he's not going to. I'm going to beat him with 10-ounce gloves on. So he definitely won't want to do bare knuckle after that. But I'm very focused on this fight, July 20th, 30 days to go. I'm excited every day. I'm working hard. I'm training. I think he's posting old videos of, you know, he posts. I saw this morning when I woke up, he's on the row machine and it's nighttime. I think that was old. I think it was an old video he was just putting up like, oh, look at me, I'm training, or that he was running. And, you know, that's fine. You can train all you want, and I'm going to get rest and recovery and some relaxation, and I'll be in shape for sure. So, you know, I'm about to go to the gym right now after we get done with this, and I'm super excited to work and better myself to be prepared for this battle. I think Jake knows that he's in for a fight. I know that I'm in for a fight, and I'm looking to make it look easy. I'm looking to just be too much, even though I'm little and littler, and his size should help him deal with the onslaught that I'm going to bring. I still think I can find a way to break him down.
I think a lot of people are predicting this to end by knockout for Mike Perry. I remember back in the day, I know I told you this story when we talked before, when you were the backup for Jake's fight. I think it was the Tommy Fury fight. And I do a podcast with Matt Brown, and Matt Brown said, Jake better pray that Tommy Fury doesn't fall out of this fight, and he has to fight Mike Perry because he's a savage. Let me get it. What is the official platinum prediction? How does this one end? When does it end? When do you put Jake Paul away?
I said 7th round, knockout, TKO, if you will. I'm looking to make Jake take a knee, fall down, hit him hard. He's not gonna stand still to let me land the best shot I can land. I have to time it. I have to set it up. I have to put the pressure on him. I have to wear on him and break him down over time. I gotta hit that body, find those lumps on the side of his head. And eventually, I think by the 7th round, if not the 8th, I'd like to finish him in the last round too. I gotta stop him. I gotta put the pressure, overwhelm him, and just give the ref no other choice but to step in and stop me from punching on him.
Absolutely. Before I let you go, Mike, of course, we all know you as the king of violence, the king of bare knuckle. And I'd heard, I know you talked about this yesterday. There was talks about maybe you doing the boxing match with Dillon Danis. And obviously this fight came up with Jake Paul. Where are you with bare knuckle? You know, there's a little bit of a break with boxing, of course. In my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, please correct me if I am wrong, Mike, but while you're off doing the Jake Paul fight and doing some boxing, do you feel like maybe that gives BKFC the chance to find you another worthy opponent? Because right now, got to be honest, like there's not a lot of guys I would look at and say, man, that's the guy who's next in line for Mike Perry, especially after what you did to Thiago Alves, after what you did to Luke Rockhold, so on and so forth. Do you feel like this little break to do a boxing match is actually good because now BKFC can go out and find a new opponent for you in the future?
Yeah, it's interesting. I was still looking at that Dillon Danis fight. That wasn't going to be a boxing match because, we all saw how he performed in boxing. And I don't want any excuses. I would like, when I fight him, I was supposed to fight him after I beat up Jake Paul. But, after I beat Jake Paul, let's be honest here, I could just chill out for a bit and let things unravel around me. I definitely owe BKFC. I definitely got to get back in there for them. And they do have some plans to bring me back by the end of the year. So, they might already have an idea of who that's going to be. And I go in there and perform against Jake Paul. Possibilities are endless. I could fight Dillon Danis in MMA and do a BKFC fight all before the end of the year, or just chill out and just wait and see what happens. End up fighting Anthony Joshua or something after I beat Jake Paul in boxing. So, or, we got Nate Diaz Masvidal, who wins that boxing match. It's all respect for me. I have honor for the guys who have been at this game for a long time. That's why Jake gets the bad rap he does, because he just got here and he knows that. He understands that. And he's trying to pick better fights that can get him some recognition. And that's where I come in. This is my chance and my opportunity to stop this kid and show him what a real fighter is.
And you said, just to be clear, Dillon Danis was going to be an MMA fight. It wasn't going to be boxing. It was going to be MMA.
Yes, I was going to knee him in the face and elbow him and try, if he gives up his back, I would have tried to go for the choke. Why not? I ain't got a submission before, but I like to punch people. I am very highly skilled in MMA. It might just be something that I take to the grave, those skills. I recently did an MMA round with Lyoto Machida and a couple other high-level UFC fighters, jiu-jitsu black belts, and I still got it, man. I'm very highly skilled in fighting no matter what the art is, but boxing is definitely something I prefer to practice on and make sure that I'm so incredible at rolling with the punches. I can take a hit. I don't care who you are. You can't hurt me. I mean, I won't let you. I won't let you hurt me. I can take that punch. Platinum chin, baby, for life.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, Mike, this is one of the most anticipated fights of the year now. Everyone was buzzing about Conor coming back. Conor's not coming back. Thankfully, we get Mike Perry to save the day and come in and swoop in to get this Jake Paul fight. I can't wait, man. And I say this sincerely, man. I'm just happy you got it because I think you've deserved this for a long time. I know it's a fight you've wanted for a long time. We've talked about it a bunch of times. I'm just finally happy it's here. July 20th, Tampa, Florida. I can't wait. Mike, it is always a pleasure to catch up with you. Have a good training session after this, man. Best of luck in the fight, and let's catch up after another platinum knockout. How about that?
Yes, sir, brother. I'll see you at the show, Damon. God bless. Thank you very much for having me.